Hello friends, it's Anastasia and welcome. It's been a minute. Yes, I said this American phrase. I'm really proud. So it's been a minute that I haven't showed you any home decor or renovation content, and this time in this video we're going to start with that. Home renovation and DIY projects for me are something like a hobby and to save some money. Besides that, I love doing DIY projects by myself because it is a project that has a beginning and an end, and then you can be really proud of yourself that you managed it, or maybe you had some help but you managed it to start something and to finish it. I think I heard about it somewhere that psychologically it helps a lot for your self-esteem. You start to believe more in yourself, you believe that you're capable in actually accomplishing things and goals, and this can give you a great boost for your bigger goals in life. This time my project was maybe simple in a way, but not at the same time. I really wanted to paint the ceiling. My intention for this video was not to make a tutorial and how to paint the ceiling, let's say, but I really wanted to share the process and basically to give some tips of how I believe that it is supposed to be done. As for our color today, we have the brand Valspar Ultra, and you can find this paint at Lowe's. This is where we got it, and the paint color itself is called, because I don't really remember how it is called, this is the shade of the, I would call it like very light beige maybe, but I really want to show you, it's called Sand Dollar. I don't know why I decided to name it like that, but it's called Sand Dollar and it's in satin. So this is not matte, but it's the, if I'm correct, it's the step after the matte. It has some shiny elements in the paint itself, but it's not too shiny. I think the satin is the best option for walls and ceilings, but some people claim that they would prefer the ceiling more shiny, but I prefer it more matte. And I noticed that if you use matte paint on the walls, it leaves stains. Like if you touch the wall after, you will see your fingerprints on the wall, which is so annoying. I didn't know that, but thankfully I just painted in matte the closet and the laundry room, so it's okay. We are going to need a roller that you can find in any renovation construction store like Lowe's, for example, and as you can see I already have used it a couple of times. It's removable. It's removable from the puffy roller itself. Just make sure you remove it right away and don't let the puffy roller dry on top of this one, because it's going to be more complicated to take it off. I got a new kit with the puffy rollers over here, and it has two of them, and a good idea is to get a roller that it's not too puffy. This one is actually thin, so pay attention to get a thin one because it doesn't absorb as much paint as the puffy roller absorbs. You will have more paint left for your walls or ceiling. There is a wall and trim brush over here. It's included in the kit. It's easy to paint the corners in between the two walls or the corners in between the ceiling and the wall with this type of brush rather than with a simple generic brush. And we have this plastic container where you're going to put your paint and roll with the roller so it gets as much paint as you need, and it's also very easy washable if you wash it right away. Don't wait for the paint to dry if you want to keep this clean, or otherwise if you let it dry you can still remove the paint when it dries completely. It creates a thin layer on the plastic, so you can just rip it off. But if you don't want to do that, just wash it away in a bathtub. The thing with wall color is that it can dry very quickly, so you have to pay attention that it doesn't drip on your floor or on your carpet or even on your clothes. It's very difficult to take it off if it dries, but if it does drip, you can just immediately put your roller away And get a microfiber, it's the best, but if you don't have, just get a tissue, make it wet, and just try to clean as fast as you can the spot, and hopefully it will not leave a mark. So that's it for the paint and the stains and all that. This is how you can simply put the puffy roller on top of this roller, like that. Just push it. You just push it. So if you have like a guy that you can call for help, it's going to be better. But we are strong women, we can do it ourselves too. Look at that, I just noticed this. You can detach this plastic thing. I assume they put it just to protect it, maybe, but I believe if you want, you can just put the paint on top of this plastic thing, and you can just simply wash the plastic and leave the black tray clean. I don't know. Or you can simply take it off and forget about it. It's okay, it's still washable, it still will be clean if you wash it immediately. You know what, I will keep this plastic thing just in case, if I need to paint another wall, if I need to use another color. So if I don't want to mix the colors together, I can use something like that. An easy way to open a bucket of paint is to use a flat screwdriver, and you simply will put it here and do these simple movements. I don't put any pressure at all. And because it's a new bucket of paint and it was never opened before, unless from the store itself, so it's very easy to open it. In the store they usually use something like a small hammer and they just close it, they seal it very well. But you can simply open it like that, and voila, you have your beautiful color. I love this color, I believe it's going to be very beautiful with the blue walls that we have here, and hopefully I will love this room. And again, we are going to pour some fresh paint in this tray over here. I'm going to use the fresh beige, or how it is called, sand dollar. We can stir it just because it's a fresh paint and sometimes it has more liquid on the top. So you can just stir it just a little bit like that. So you see how the fresh paint is just nice and smooth. You don't want excessive paint, you don't want it to be wasted, so you put it back like that, and you put the stick away, like somewhere else, so it doesn't ruin anything else. And we pour the fresh paint, but just a little bit, not too much. We pour it in the tray like that, and ideally it would be nice to have like old newspaper nearby, so you can put the bucket or the paint bucket on top of it, or you can just try not to make anything dirty like I am doing right now. But I think I should put some paper myself just to protect the carpet. If you are afraid to make your clothes dirty, just wear something that you don't mind if it's dirty, and it can be your paint clothes. You can, oops, I put it on the wrong angle, okay. And it can be your paint clothes, and you don't have to put like new clothes every time, and you don't have to ruin more clothes to do like a home project. Oh my god, I cannot find the okay, just want to make sure that you see it. So we use a roller, make sure that nothing is like any excessive lint is on your roller, because you don't want to leave that on the wall. Okay, don't wet it, you don't need to wet it, the roller has to be dry. You can wet it after, when you don't need to paint anymore, when you are done. Always wash it under, not above the sink or above your bathtub. Always wash it just with warm water, and the paint will go away, the excessive paint, and avoid the roller to dry with the paint on it, because you will not be able to use it on your next home project, or in case you need to put a second hand in the next day. you will not be able to use the roller if it has a lot of paint dried. So you just do that, you get some paint on it. You really try to put paint on all of the roller surface, like that. And let it kind of absorb the paint. You don't want the paint to be dripping on your walls and then dripping on the floor. You can also add some water here. I'm not going to do it because the paint is very fresh, but in case you are using not a fresh paint, let's say you already have an opened bucket, you can add some water in the tray here and it will mix it very well. So this is like illustration right now, and so you understand how it is done. And we are going to do our first try on the wall, on the ceiling I mean. So we have a roller with some paint on it, and I am unlucky today because I cannot use like that extension that I showed you before. So I will have to use a stool or a chair, and I can reach the ceiling, which is good. And simply I start painting. I don't go until the edges. I will do that on a later time. But right now I am simply just using the roller like that, and I am testing. I will see if I like the color first of all. Sometimes you can just do a test run and you can just use a brush and see if you like the color. At Lowe's they give you small buckets with paint just to do a test run. You don't have to buy a gallon of paint. You can buy a very small amount and you can just try it on the wall or on the doors or on the ceiling if you like it. And if you're not sure about a specific paint, you can try to notice how the light falls on this paint at different times of the day. When the room is lit with light, it will look differently. When the room is dark completely, it will look differently. When there is sunset time, it will look differently. Dawn, dusk, you know, if you spend a long time in the room, you want to like it. That's why pick the correct color. I love the color right now. It is amazing and it's much better than the white that we had previously. I am still using the paint from before. I didn't use more paint. I didn't like dipped. I did not dip my roller into a new fresh paint again. And you don't really need to use too much paint, especially if you're painting over a white wall. If it was a dark wall, yes, you would need 2 or 3 hands to cover it, but right now we have white wall or ceiling, so we don't really need as much paint as you would think. So yes, painting the ceiling is more difficult because you need to apply pressure even if you are not standing on a chair but you are just on the floor and using the extension for your roller. Still, it's even harder. Right now I am applying some pressure on my right hand and it applies nice. So maybe with the extended roller it would be more tough. So with the edges you really have to be careful, and I would recommend to really put a tape here to protect your edges here and the corner later. It's simply to make your life easier. I am going to use a brush later and I'm going to use it very carefully. When you see that you need to put a lot of pressure, that means that you need to dip your roller into a new fresh paint. So we'll have to go down now again and dip it into a new fresh paint, but you have an idea how it is done right now. I of course open the windows, although it's winter, but you need fresh air coming into the room so you don't breathe all this paint smell. It's not good for you, like that. And if you have ooh, drips, it drips so much. Okay, we saved it like that. For me, it's so satisfying to paint something. I don't know why, it's like a meditation for me. I really love paint on a canvas, create artworks, and then I also love just painting the walls or painting furniture. It's a very cool hobby that I discovered the last year, and it's just awesome to discover new activities for yourself. So we have to use all the paint. We don't want anything to go to waste. So the more people you have in the project, the faster you will finish. But even if you're by yourself, I mean, put like a podcast, some good music, or be in silence. Sometimes it's nice to just be quiet and don't have any other information entering your mind, and just meditate. It's nice. Try not to paint on top of the painted area anymore until it's completely dry, so it dries evenly. So we have to move away from this area. I just wanted to make it smoother. Okay. It's been already 1 hour and a half that I am painting, and I have to take a break. Friends, it's the day 2 of our mini home office renovation. I'm going to show you the result. I have just a little bit left to paint the ceiling. Basically, I want to show you how to paint the corners with the brush. And I forgot around the fan, I forgot to paint last night just some space around it, so we are going to paint that as well. So this is the space, and I'm going to zoom in so you can see it better. This is the space that I left on purpose, so we are going to paint it together. I'm going to show you how the paintbrush works, and the rest I painted last night because I just wanted to save time, and last night I didn't have good lighting, so I can show you the result. But now, today we have such a beautiful sunny day. I am so happy that it happened. As you can see, this finish is very good, but it's not professional. But I believe what I have done with the brush so far is decent. Plus, I plan to add some wall trim, so some ceiling trim in between the ceiling and the walls, so I can have a beautiful finish. Also, I started painting the closet doors, so you can see the difference now between the white, the original one, and the beige or sand color. I will put a second hand on that because the wood is different surface than the wall. The wall is softer, it's more flat. The wood has different textures over here. That's why the paint doesn't apply equally, and that's why you will need to really put second or maybe even third coat. It depends always from the color that you pick. And of course, you can use a primer for wood on top of your paint if you want it to be more shiny, or if you want just to protect your color so it doesn't have any scratches. Usually the wood absorbs more paint than the wall. Here's the brush that I used yesterday, and I washed it, so you see that it's completely dry and it's very soft. If you want to reuse your brush, if you plan to use it in another home projects, definitely wash it right after. When you are done painting, wash it with some warm water above your sink, and with some patience the excessive paint will go away. And yes, it will be a little colored, you will still see some color on your brush, but at least it's not a big deal, and you can even puff it even more and some excessive particles will go. So it's completely reusable. And also I washed the tray and the bucket. Well, the bucket You don't care if it's dirty like that, at least the color is dry. No, it's not. Okay, it will be dry if you let it dry more time, but in my case I will use again the bucket for the same color. That's why I don't mind that it's not dried completely. And why I didn't leave the brush into a water, let's say, because you don't want to dip a wet brush into your paint, because it will dissolve the paint, the water will dissolve the paint, and it will not apply equally on your wall. You need a completely dry brush and a completely dry roller if it's, for example, a new one. Never like wet it. And the tray, it's completely dry, and I'm going to reuse it for the same color. That's why I didn't really need to get rid of all of the color. I let some of them just to stay here. It's not a big deal, so we can continue painting. I am so glad that this chair is high enough so I can reach the ceiling. If you are planning a home project, make sure you have a steady and high chair, otherwise get a ladder or borrow one. It will save you a lot of time and energy. But make sure it's steady, be careful, or have somebody to look after you. But in case you are yourself, make sure the chair and the ladder is very steady. So we dip the paint into the bucket. We don't need excessive paint, otherwise it will drip on our wall and we will have a mess. We just need a little bit, and really try to make the edge of the paintbrush wet. You don't care about making wet this part of the brush, you just need the edge, because you are going to work mostly with the edge. Here the corner is tricky, but I am going to really try to start from the beginning of it. So we start working from the corner and smoothly applying the brush stroke like that, very steady, and it fades like that. We dip the brush again because we want to paint on top of that. Again, the corners are very difficult, so like don't be frustrated if you don't get it from the first time. It's very tricky, and I already have made a mistake over here, so I'm going to kind of clear it. Okay, if you notice that there is a stain somewhere that you don't need it, just clean it right away. Get a wet tissue or a microfiber, as I mentioned before, or just use your finger, but just make sure that the stain is gone, because the wall absorbs the paint very quickly. Make a little more over here. It's very easy with this type of paint. You need it to be this shape, so it works. And it has to be thin enough. There are plenty of expensive brushes out there. This one was not expensive. Actually, it was in the kit, and the kit costed $16, which is a great deal for two puffy rollers, for one roller stick handle, for a tray, and for a brush. It's a very good deal, because I have seen brushes that cost by themselves like $30, $40. But I guess it's like for a more professional use, like that. Again, if you, let's say, don't have a brush like that, or you don't want to buy it, and let's say you have just a tiny little brush and you want to use it. It will take more time, but you can use it in the corners. It will actually be a great help to cover these tiny difficult spots, but make sure the brush is dry and soft enough. So that's it, and what remains is the other edge that we are going to cover in a few seconds. So as you see, I used this brush last night and it still works very well. just wash it right away. And now we are going to work on the other side over here. Also, it's very important to have a bucket like that with a handle like that. It's so convenient, and there is also a magnet over here, and you can just put your brush like that if you don't need to use it. Very handy. So you don't have to get off of your chair, go back, dip your brush, go up. It saves a lot of time. Again, don't try to do it fast, don't rush, make sure you have plenty of time. And again, I am going to use a ceiling trim, so all of that will not be visible. But again, I don't want it to be messy, I want it to have like a smooth result. Here is also the sample that Lowe's always give. It's like free, and other construction shops and paint shops give them for free, so you can just come home and see it for yourself with the lighting that you have in your room, if you like it. My color is this, and I will provide the color code as well. We are done with the ceiling, and now I want to show you how I'm painting the closet door. It's very simple. I still going to use the same brush, the same color, the same bucket. You can use any other brush if you want to paint a door, or if you want to paint like a furniture. But usually for furniture, maybe you need a smaller one, but for a door, this works perfectly. You just do that. Try to do vertical lines than horizontal. They will look better at the very end. And some like to play with the colors, and they paint the wall trim different color, the doors different colors, and the walls different colors, and they look amazing. But I don't think I want more color in this room than it has already. So I'm going to paint only the necessary trims with the same color as the door. And let me know if you enjoy this type of videos, so I know whether I need to create more videos like that about home renovation. Maybe I will create some home decoration videos as well, something how-to. Now I realized, it's a little funny, but now I realized that this home office actually has the colors of Greece in a way, because the walls are in this blue coastal beautiful color. It's not bold blue as you know it, but it has some gray in it, or some black in it definitely, maybe some green too. So it creates this beautiful, elegant color, which I believe suits great a home office, or maybe it could be a bedroom. It's like sophisticated. I believe the blue color also makes you to focus better. It's not a relaxing color necessarily, so maybe, now that I think about it, maybe bedroom would not be like suitable for this color, or maybe this color would not be suitable for a bedroom, but for a space in your house that requires some focus, I believe, yeah, the home office is like a great fit. Maybe a home gym could also be like a blue color, something that requires your focus, maybe a reading room or a library. So friends, what do you think of this renovation? It was a small renovation, but big for me, definitely. Whenever I enter this room, I love how the neutral sand color complements the coastal blue. Before it was white and it was too harsh of a contrast, but whenever you add gray, beige, sand color, camel, it always like neutralizes the bold colors. So let me know, what do you think, if you would have done the same, or if you prefer the color drenching in your space, or how do you like your space, your home decorated? clearly overdressed today, meaning that I am wearing too many layers and it's really warm today. It's 12 degrees Celsius apparently in Washington DC, and I looked in the morning the temperature. It seemed colder than it is now. Maybe something changes during the day. Oh my god! I'm wearing this turtleneck, which is wool, and the coat probably should have left it in the car. Probably I will take off something. The hat is the easiest way, and we have to walk around in the museum right now, so it will be a little hot for me, but hopefully in the city later it will be a little cooler. I wanted to share a couple of thoughts about the National Archive Museum and the whole experience. It is an archive, it's an artifact that it will be almost 250 years. Actually, no, this year it's going to be 250 years from the Declaration of Independence to be signed, actually. It will be this summer. And it felt in a way surreal. I know it's not a big amount of time that has passed if you compare it, I don't know, with Asian history, especially history of ancient Greece or ancient Egypt. We talk about civilizations that existed thousands of years ago, but still, I believe it's unfair to just compare it to something that was that long ago. This is still crucial, this still affected the history itself and how the world is right now. And seeing this piece of paper that has changed so much was really incredible. The room in general, it was kind of dark, and I realized it later, but my camera settings were also underexposed. I do it on purpose to avoid any harsh light or flickering in my footage. It gives that nice moody vibe. But anyway, I noticed that later and I realized that my footages are really dark. But in general, the room was so dark, and it is because so the documents are preserved and they are not ruined even more. And most of the documents are really faded right now. You can see something written there, and you can tell that there are signatures, that some of them are more visible than the others. But it happened due to sun exposure, due to heat exposure, probably smoke. These documents survived a lot of events that happened after, and it was incredible, really. And the whole museum and the installations that were there, they were really helpful. We could see some mocks of the documents, so we could see and visualize how they would look like in their clear form. Plus, back then they created also copies of these documents, and they explained how they were basically copying them and creating them. And it was really interactive and really interesting to learn. I am really eager to learn more about American history, and I will dive deep into the Revolutionary War. The Civil War is also a really interesting topic to me. So yes, I'm excited. It's something that we haven't been taught, to be honest, in Greece in the history class. At least as far as I recall, I was not like a great student, but I don't remember really learning about the history of USA. Friends, I decided to make you a quick outfit of the day. This time here in the YouTube vlog. I started recently to make shorts, and reels and TikToks about my outfit of the day, where I explain what are the pieces that I am wearing. So if you're interested, you can always check it out on this channel or on Instagram or TikTok. But as for today, I am wearing something very simple, the black pants from H&M. They are jersey pants, so they are very comfortable. I feel flexible and all that nothing is restricting, and I like that. Then this amazing long sleeve, it's 100% cotton and it's from Uniqlo. You can find great pieces in Uniqlo, from wool, from cotton. Okay, maybe you can find something that is like thermal clothing if you're going to ski or if your region is still very cold. They are great, so love it. And underneath I'm wearing a t-shirt. I don't remember if it's H&M. I think it's H&M. It's a simple t-shirt. The fabric is more like knit wear, I think, but it's very thin. And I recently, I don't know, I just like that there is like a contrast in colors, and specifically the red and black. And the hairstyle today is a little funky, I guess, for my taste, but I like it. I have like a little bun here. Earrings, dual silver color and gold color earrings, and basically that's it. I think I'm going to wear a thin jacket and my sneakers, and I haven't told you where I'm going. I am going to work from the coffee shop today. I try to do that once a week. Also, look what happened recently. Unfortunately, my beloved eyebrow pencil, I would call it brow liner, by Elf. Unfortunately, something happened with its cap, and now it has, I think it is broken somewhere. I'm not sure where specifically, but it opens now. So whenever it is just inside my, I would call it nécessaire if I was in Greece. I know it's a French word, but we call it nécessaire, like the whole like makeup bag wherever we store our makeup. So I don't know in English, how do you call it? And it is completely dried right now. Like, look at it. The brush is completely dried. I have no ink coming out. And there is still like some product inside. But unfortunately, it happened a couple of times now. And it's been open, I guess, for several days because I haven't put makeup. I mean, I haven't touched my brows for several days now. And this is what happened. I guess I'll have to just get a new one because I don't see any product coming out, and I guess it's just going to open every time. So you have to be careful. But the brand itself, I actually liked it. It was the first time that I tried it. Whenever this pencil worked, it was great actually. The brush was thin and I got a good result. thank you so much that you stayed with me until this moment. It really helps me when you put a like on the video, when you comment down below, whatever you prefer. You can ask me a question and I can reply to it more in depth in the next video, of course. And if you have the hype option, always this would be really helpful. So YouTube pushes further my channel and helps me to grow. And of course, thank you a lot in advance. Don't forget to follow me on my social media, which is linked down below. I post there daily, and we'll see each other next week. Bye bye.